Okay, time to turn on some cookie clicker, because achievement getting sucks. Hello everyone, my name's Stonsey Boy, and welcome back to Reading with Stonsey. Today we are reading pages 01 to 20 of our new book, Five Nights at Freddy's Tales from the Pizza Plex, number 3, Somniphobia. It's been a little bit since we've read a FNAF book, so it's gonna be good to be back under the wing of a book like this. Simple 20 pages, nothing crazy, nothing new. Though I will have an epiphany halfway through thinking, oh, I've already read this, which yes, I've read this book 7 times and have it once figured out. The reason why I keep thinking I've read this book is because I've read this book. So, sorry if I sound a little confused throughout this. I just gotta keep yelling at myself, hey dummy, you've already read this. So, without further ado, let's begin. Five Nights at Freddy's Tales from the Pizzaplex, number 3, Somniphobia. Somniphobia. It's just terrible, Bill. All these people gawking at the poor family's belongings. Bill eyed his wife. You mean like we are? Oh, hush, Mildred scolded, staring at the display of home items and several tables in the yard sale. If it gave her something to say or their weekly pinnacle game, then so be it. We're concerned neighbors, Bill. Maybe we could take something off their hands and maybe they'll move on as soon as they can. It's a shame about Josh, sweet boy. Bill scratched his jaw. Can't say I remember him much. Well, he was an odd one, quiet, kept mostly to himself, but now he's suddenly in a coma, in need of full-time care. He glanced around and added in a loud whisper, so sad that his parents have to move out of the state to get help from their family. No rhyme or reason for said coma. She picked up a mixing bowl. One day he just wouldn't wake up. Doctors called it a medical mystery. Mildred felt a chill and set the bowl back down. The household items suddenly seemed sad and lonely to her. Maybe we can donate to help out. Bill picked up a broken sphere with an odd-looking character inside. He assumed it was one of those funny court jesters, wearing a cap and fluffy pants. With a frown, Bill set the ball down. I think a donation would be best, Millie. Let's go home now. Rad, what scares you the most? Cliffs, dude, Rad said, or ledges on tall buildings. I get the chills like I might fall over the side, and clowns, definitely. Such a cliche, I know, but I saw some creepy movies as a kid. Sam Barker listened as he sat in Brad, Jules, Larry, and Bogart in the bleachers and lunch on Fridays, and the spot for seniors to hang out. Sam and his friends had been waiting 3 years to get on this level of hierarchy. Freshman year, they'd been in the cafeteria. Sophomore year, they sat in the courtyard. Junior year, they ate in the front of the school with the steps, and now, finally, they're on the bleachers. Only downside, in Sam's opinion, was the football field attracted the most sunshine. The sky was clear today, and it was the good thing that Sam had applied sunscreen twice before lunch. But as a drip of sweat slid down his forehead, he realized he was going to need to apply a third coat soon in order to not boil like a lobster. In his blonde hair and fair skin, he probably should have been wearing a hat at lunch now, just to be safe. He pushed on a vintage black-rimmed glasses up to his nose and carefully unwrapped the sandwich. He listened to Rad about his fears. Yesterday, the lunch topic had been the best feels of all time. Oh, Rad continued, and the most amusement rides that make you drop from way high up. I feel like my guts get left behind. So not good. I love those rides, Bogart announced, and then took a massive bite of his pepperoni pizza slice. Bogart was always wear shorts. There hadn't been a day in high school his calves were covered, even when it was freezing outside. Jules stood against the side railing as he snacked from a chip bag. He didn't sit often and usually on the move. Larry chomped on a hamburger and fries as his mom had dropped for him before lunch. The guys always teased at him. His mom still brought him lunch during senior year. Sam had stopped telling him how much trans fat was in those meals when Larry had finally said, "Bro." Larry was a guy of very few words. His hair was long and frizzy. Sam didn't think he owned a comb. Rad leaned back on his elbows and had his legs stretched out and crossed in front of him. He wore his clothes 2 sizes too big, but managed to look stylish in them somehow. His white tennis shoes were always clean and bright. Sam wasn't sure how he managed that. He wore his dark hair overgrown, the ends nearly reached the shoulders. Of course, Rad wasn't eating. He usually skipped lunch, no matter how many times Sam told him about the benefits of 3 meals a day. Sam was actually surprised his friend was afraid of anything at all. Rad was so easygoing, it was probably why he was able to remain friends with Sam. Since everything bothered Sam, Rad had never seemed to pay any mind to the pal's cautious way of life. If Rad hadn't accepted him for who he was since elementary school, Sam felt like he likely would have drifted from the group. Jules, Bogart, and sometimes Larry just didn't fully get him. Sam studied the sandwich, organic turkey, no dairy, and gluten-free bread, with mustard and fresh organic lettuce, tomato, and pickles. He made it himself. No way would he eat from the school cafeteria. Who knew how many hands had touched the food prep, how many people were breathing on it? Not only that, but the school district had confirmed conform to organic ingredients or no preservatives in their meals. Sam had researched upset stomach issues last year and realized gluten, heavy oils, and preservatives didn't sit well in his digestion. His frequent anxiety gave him nervous stomach. He also had to steer clear of caffeine and sugar, for his anxiety shot up into overdrive, and he couldn't calm or sleep through the night. He was on a clean, dairy-free, gluten-free, stimulant-free meal plan for the time being. He started packing his own meals when he wouldn't have to keep explaining to his mom. Talk about scary. Did you guys hear that Josh's family's moving away with him? Bogart asked. Yeah, bummer all around, Rad said and cleared his throat. What about you, Sam? What are your top things you're most afraid of? The world, Jules muttered under his breath. Bogart snorted. Sam ignored the comment and carefully chewed a bite of sandwich before speaking. I'd say small confined spaces, especially with the stream dark and large bodies of water. You mean like the ocean? Bogart asked. Sam nodded. Yeah, I never learned to swim. Your dad never taught you? Rad looked at Bogart and Bogart adjusted his hat. I mean, it's okay, Sam said. Everyone knew Sam lost his dad in 3rd grade. No, he never taught me. Yeah, I can't teach you, Sam, Rad told him. Sam shook his head. No thanks. Besides, it's healthy to have fears. Before the moment could get more awkward, Jules interrupted. So we're going to Missy's party or what? When it came to deciding what the group was going to do, if possible, the group hardly did anything without everyone involved. Yeah, I'm in, Rad announced. Something to do. When everyone else decided to go too, although Sam would prefer to stay home, parties had not been fun sophomore year when everyone stopped playing party games and started worrying about what everyone looked like. But he was part of the group, so he was going anyway. Rad's party was Sunday, though he'd been chosen to hang out at Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizza Plex to celebrate with the guys. Sam was pretty sure that was going to be more fun than Misty Salzar's party. Sam walked behind the guys as they entered Misty's house. He wore freshly ironed collared shirt and dark blue jeans. He always ironed the wrinkles in his clothes, and he felt uncomfortable wearing them. His hair was buzzed short, so he would never have to style it. His glasses were freshly polished to a vibrant shine. The music was loud, and there were a ton of kids. Sam did especially like parties. Large parties were attended by the loud kids, the social kids, and often the popular kids. The entire opposite of Sam and his group. Misty lived in a huge 2-story home with a large backyard and swimming pool. That was where most of the partygoers hung out. As Sam followed the guys to the backyard, he made sure to keep a safe distance from the pool. Of course, there weren't any lifeguard in sight, and so many kids here, all types of accidents could happen. He shuddered just thinking about the possibilities. He sat at the table by the fence, positioning himself as far away from the enclosed water as possible. But the scent of chlorine still filled his nostrils. His friends meandered around, talking to others. Sam was fine sitting alone. He didn't really talk to other classmates unless it involved school, and mainly just hung out with a small group of friends. He wasn't the best at small talk, anyway. And he was so used to other kids ignoring him or not really being interested in what he had to say. Sam accepted for somewhat of an odd one out in high school. He didn't do sports, he didn't join clubs, he had a specialized diet, and he only wore certain cotton fabrics because polyester made him break out. He was set in his ways, and he rarely tried new things. He admittedly considered everything that could go wrong before he decided to do something, instead of thinking all the things that could go right. But his way of living made him feel comfortable, so he accepted that about himself. It was just the others rarely did, well, besides Rad. Surprisingly, a girl named Lydia Gomes walked over to Sam's table. He had curly brown hair, freckles, and a nose piercing. She wore jeans and colorful sweatshirt. She didn't wear a lot of makeup like some of the girls in Marina High, and she always was nice to Sam in a group study with her in English literature. She held up 2 red cups in hand. Hi, Sam. I always want to tell you that your glasses are pretty cool. They're so unique. Thanks, they were my dad's. He adjusted them on his face. Even though he didn't need to, there was a nervous habit. When I needed glasses, my mom put my prescription in them. That's really neat. Do you want a drink? He offered him a cup. Sam eyed the drink suspiciously. What is it? Well, I'm told it's Misty's birthday poolside punch. Do you know what's in it? Lita frowned and cups at the front. Definitely some kind of fruity stuff. Sam looked out and noticed some kid acting silly and talking funny. He held up the hand like a crossing guard. No thanks, Lydia. If there's even a chance of alcohol being in it, I'm not having it. I'm a firm believer in staying in control of my mind and my choices. She gave him a smile. You sure? A couple of sips won't hurt. He adjusted his glasses again. Actually, that's far from true. Sam, just take a drink. Sheesh, Sheila said abruptly at the table and grabbed a drink out of Lydia's hand, slapping down in front of Sam. Don't mind him. Sam's a glass half empty kind of guy. Sam had been about to complain how alcohol could cause someone to become drowsy and less control. Instead, Sam cleared his throat. I make smart and careful decisions in order to navigate around the future challenges. Jules rolled his eyes. Right. The rest of the group walked over to a small table. What's going on, guys? Rad raised an eyebrow. Just Sam being Sam. Jules left it at that and took a big swig from his red cup. So, you guys have heard about the cliff diving going in Santa Cruz? Lydia asked. I hear it's pretty fun. Yeah, a guy I know does it, Bogart jumped in. Says it's an extreme rush. You gotta love heights, though. I guess that leaves you out, Rad. No doubts, Rad said. One day I'd like to try it, Lydia said. Sam shook his head. People have actually broken their necks and other body parts from reckless jumps off cliffs and bridges. Not long ago, there was an incident in the news about a guy who did a cliff dive. The cliff was so high up that he could control where he landed. He ended up falling in a bunch of rocks, breaking every single one of his bones and splitting open his skull. They said his brain was eaten by birds when they found him. Dude, that's gnarly. True story. I'd definitely steer clear of that activity, Lydia, Sam warned. Okay, Lydia said and looked around the backyard. Oh, I see my friend. Talk to you guys later. Then she took off rather quickly. Good one, Sam, Jules blurted out as Lydia rushed away. Real smooth. What do you mean? You really impressed Lydia with your death talk. Should be impressed. Making safe choices in order to secure and long lifespan is a plus. Jules made it sound like a buzzer. More like negative with your doom and gloom attitude. Sam frowned. I don't have a negative attitude. No? Why wouldn't you take the drink? I don't like to be uninhibited. Whatever that means. Why are you sitting so far from the pool? You know I can't swim. Are you aware how many accidents happen in home pools? What are your leading cause of deaths in the U.S.? Well, that's easy. Heart disease. Jules threw his arms up, spilling some of the drink on the ground. I rest my case. You're a walking encyclopedia for doom and gloom. All right, Jules, Rad cut in. Chill. He patted Sam on the back. No worries, Sam. It's all good. Let's all just relax and have some fun. Sam nodded his head, and even though Jules was making him feel bad, maybe high school girls didn't understand Sam, but at least he had one good friend who did. Must have not liked what Rad said, or maybe just too much to drink, because he took a cup of Lydia and brought Sam and shoved it in Sam's face. Here, Sam. Some of us help you relax. Sam attempted to block Jules' hand, but the drink just splashed into Sam's mouth and down his shirt anyway. Sam quickly stood and pushed Jules away. The cup fell to the ground, spilling the liquid in a small puddle. He tasted the artificial sourness of the drink, spat it into the ground, then swiped out his mouth on the back of his hand. Jules and Bogart laughed. Oh, shoot, Bogart muttered, and a hand over his mouth. You really done it this time, Jules. Sam blinked rapidly. The disgusting taste of the drink lingered in his mouth. He didn't know what was in it. He didn't like the taste. He didn't like it to be taken out of his comfort zone. And sometimes he just didn't like Jules. Jules, not cool, Rod said. You okay, Sam? No, no. Sam shook his head as he walked into the house, searching for water or the bad taste out of his mouth. It was so clean his shirt. His breath became uneven, and he knew his anxiety had kicked in. There was no pressure building in the center of his chest. His hands staring to clench and unclench. He pushed through kids, trying to get to the kitchen. He opened his fridge and found a water bottle, quickly opening it and drank some and swished it around in the mouth before spitting into the sink. He could feel the kids staring at him, but he didn't care. He just needed to calm down and regain control. He pulled out a paper towel on the roll and poured some water on it. Then he dabbed the shirt. The drink had stained the weird blue color. It was likely ruined. Sam started to sweat, and he couldn't stop blinking. His entire body felt stiff and tension. He needed a change. His shirt was dirty and wet. He felt like a party. The kids were closing in on him. He wanted out. Needed out. He tossed the paper towel, chomped it through the party, and excited through the front door. The walk home and cool air against his face could calm him down. It usually did. Sam went home, Rad, Bogart told him. Saw him leave out the front door. Rad nodded. Even though he hadn't been one upset Sam, he felt bad about what went down. He felt bad for Sam a lot. He probably just needed some time to cool off. What's the big deal? Jules asked. It was a joke. I joke with people all the time. You don't see anyone else throwing temper tantrums. That wasn't funny, Jules, especially to Sam. Jules snorted. Why does he have to act all weird? He's always so uptight and he doesn't want to don't do this and don't do that attitude. The guy needs to loosen up. He's always spreading the potential doom around. I'm tired of it. You too, right, Bogart, Larry? Bogart shrugged and looked down at the ground. I don't know. But Larry shook his head too. Bro. Right, Jules muttered, giving both an irritated look. Brad shrugged his shoulder. Sam's different. We're all different in our own ways. No one's perfect. You got to accept people for who they are, Jules. I accept you, don't I? When Jules didn't say anything, Rad just said, let's bail. He was no longer in the partying mood. On the day of Rad's party, the Mega Pizza Plex was packed. There was long lines for Monty's Gator Golf, Roxy's Raceway, and Fazzer Blast, but the guys had waited them out and got their playtime in. Guy Freddy and Roxanne Wolf walked around the mall area greeting children. Sam could hear mechanical sounds where the characters moved, and he wondered if there were people inside the costumes or if they really were animatronics. The scents of pizza, popcorn, and cotton candy filled the air. Sam figured the pipe those smells through the air to get more sales, and sure enough, every other kid had a fluffy ball of cotton candy and a bag of greasy popcorn. Sam tried not to shudder. Chatter filled every inch of the space. People were talking, kids were yelling, and parents were scolding. Someone laughed really loud. Music played from all directions and sensory overload. And not just the sound. Neon lights glowed throughout the entertainment hall, giving the place a futuristic feel. Visiting the Mega Pizzaplex felt like being inside of a video game. I'm telling you guys, Rad said when he guided them through the crowd toward the Fazcade Rise Shop, all I want is one of Moondrop's dream spheres. If we could all put our winning tickets together, I bet we could get one. It would be a really cool birthday gift. He pointed to the box ball on the shelf. What is it exactly? Jules asked, eyeing the package sphere. Sam had spoken to Jules since the incident in Missy Salazar's party, and Jules had given him more space. They'd been through these incidents in the past, and if they ignored them, things would usually go back to normal. However, Sam knew nothing was truly ever resolved between them. It was likely to happen again until Sam stood up to Jules. Since Sam tried to avoid a confrontation, the cycle would likely continue. It helps you study, Rad told him. It lights the room up and helps you slip into a hypnotic state in order to focus better. It supposedly takes information from your subconscious and brings it more clearly into view. You guys gotta help me. If I don't pass physics, I'll be stuck in summer school. Sam eyed the box. The dream sphere appeared to be the snow globe with Moondrop, the jester, inside. Half of the character's face was pale crescent moon, and the other half was eclipsed in darkness. He wore a cap and puffy blue pants, decorated stars and gray top of frilly color. Bell hung from his hat, both wrists and tips of his shoes. It's 1,000 tickets, Sam said. How much do we have to save up? 790. Bogart answered. The guys always pooled their tickets, and Bogart was the official ticket holder. They figured what they would eventually save up enough tickets to altogether get a really cool prize they might be able to use. Sam was determined to get the Dream Sphere for Rad since they're a good friend. And hey, Rad had a test coming up, so maybe they could give it a try, if it was safe. For the next hour, the guys all played high-ticket arcade games. Sam liked to play games where lights spun around in a circle with the numbers, and you have to hit the button to try to get the biggest ticket prize. He landed on some 10s, 22, and then 40. A handful of tokens later, he popped up the ticket wins by scoring a 100-ticket jackpot. Way to go, Sam, Rad praised. It was pure luck, Jules muttered. All right, Bogart said when they collected Sam's tickets. I think this should put us to the mark. Let's go get this dream sphere. The guys went to the prize area and waited in line. While they waited, Jules and Bogart poked fun with some of the adults and kids. Oh, dude, look at the shirt on that guy. It's like 2 sizes too small, Bogart said. His big belly's hanging out. Jules, Bogart, and Larry all snickered, but Sam went to Rad and didn't care for the form of entertainment. When it was finally their turn to the counter, the girl at the prize counter took all their tickets in the backpack and dumped them into the bucket to be counted by the machine. 1,001. What do you guys want? She asked them. The Moondrop's Dream Sphere for the birthday boy, please, Bogart told her. The guys all laughed at that for some reason. The girl grabbed the box sphere and handed it over to Rad. Have fun, she said with a smile and tossed her hair over her shoulder. The girls always tended to gravitate towards Rad. And happy birthday. Thanks, he said with a smile. The Dream Sphere was blue and black packaging, with neon letters spelling out Moondrop's Dream Sphere. Up close, Sam could see Moondrop had an odd-looking grin and a pointy nose. Rad was pleased. All right, thanks, guys. This is so cool. Let's head to my house and take this thing for a test run. The Dawson's house was pretty roomy now that 2 Rad siblings were away at college, but it still felt full of family. Rad had a cousin who never far from his mother. His grandparents stayed over on the weekends, and he had a string of aunts, uncles, and cousins that visited often. Sometimes Sam wondered what it felt like to belong to such a huge family. Sam was an only child, just like his parents. The only grandparents that lived out of state. Since his dad died, it was his mom and Sam for holidays and special occasions. Although since his mom was an art teacher, she always had a school event and attend or volunteer for. Sam had spent most of the teen years helping out at carnivals, dances, and fundraisers. Rad's parents had left a note for buying his cake. As the guys settled into the living room, Sam felt the fine print of the Dream Sphere box. Warning, only use Moondrop's Dream Sphere for 10 minutes a day, Sam frowned. I wonder why. I don't know, but that's all we'll do, Rad told him. But you get time for us. Get your study notes, guys, and prepare to be hypnotized. Now Sam understood why Rad had asked them to bring their notebooks to his house before heading to the Mega Pizzaplex. Rad took the box from Sam and removed the sphere. The sphere was set in black platform and a button to turn it on and off. Rad plugged in the device and set it on the coffee table. Brutus, Rad dog, wagged his tail and waddled into the room. He was brown and Chattahoola mix, which a red spiked collar because Rad's mom thought it looked cute. If the dog named Brutus could ever really be referred to as cute. Rad knelt down and rubbing the dog's big head. A thick line of drool hung from Brutus's wide mouth. How you doing, boy? Brutus began to happily lick Rad's face. Sam adjusted his glasses. My dad told me this story once when I was little. He was a good friend in college and the parties and all that. One night the guy got pretty smashed and fell asleep on the friend's couch. They had a dog. That morning he woke up and the dog was eating his face off. Ooh, bro, that's sick. Rad frowned, looking a little disturbed. He patted his dog's head before pushing Brutus back. That's enough for you, big boy. Sam nodded matter-of-factly. True story, so I'm wary of dogs. You want to know what I'm wary of? Bogart asked. Guinea pigs. My cousin Howie had one. He'd like to feed him carrots. One day he looked away for a second. Chomp! Guinea bites off the tip of his pinky, thinking it was a baby carrot. All right, guys, Rad said, shaking his hand. Let's get back to the dream sphere, please. We're sitting down on the couch, Larry studied the sphere. This dream sphere wasn't actually going to work, is it? You're starting to sound like Sam, Jules said in an annoyed tone. Truth? Bogart said, I'll try anything about helps in real studying. Are you sure this is safe? Sam asked Rad. Come on, Sam. What could go wrong in a spinning globe with lights? Seizures, but only in some people with epilepsy. Otherwise, I guess not much. Oh, that's pretty rich coming from Captain Doom and Gloom, Jules said. Sam felt the room tense. It was too early to go back to teasing when the party incident was still fresh. Let's try it, Rad said, breaking the silence. I'll even put Brutus outside. He doesn't eat our faces while we're hypnotized. Bogart snorted, and Larry smiled. Putting Brutus outside was smart thinking, Sam thought. Okay, then let me just let my watch alarm for 10 minutes. Hey, Brutus, where's your toy? Brutus looked around the room and grabbed a big, chewed-up rope and brought it to Rad. Certainly likes the truth on things, Sam observed. Time to play outside, boy, Rad told Brutus and took him out of the room. When Rad came back, the guys were all seated on the couches and chairs and up at the coffee table, with notebooks on their laps. Let's do this, Moondrop, Bogart yelled. Make me smarter. If that's even physically possible, Jules said with a smirk. Only time will tell. All right, ready, guys? Here we go. Rad pushed the on button and Sam started the timer on his watch. The lights glowed as stream spheres shining on the walls and ceiling. Moondrop turned in a circle, waving his hands, and just his eyes glowed red. Shining lights flashed across everyone's faces. At first, Sam didn't feel any different. The lights were just annoying and made him blink. But in the next moment, lightheaded feeling came over him. He lifted his hand and moved slowly, as if the air was heavy and thick like syrup. I don't think I'd ever willingly go through that, you know what I mean? Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. Honestly, only time could tell. Which means today we read pages 1 to 20. I always like to say 1 to 20 for whatever reason. And I genuinely don't know why. I don't know why I'm speaking so weird. But next time we'll be reading pages 21 to 40. Very simple. These are going to be very simple 2-episode type things. And yeah, I think today we read 20 pages in about 20-ish minutes. So, you know, I'm getting back on the road. When I got back from college, one of my videos I recorded, like one of the first audiobooks I recorded for Minecraft the Island, for 20 pages, I think. Oh, no, for 18 pages, it took me 25 minutes. I was like, dang, I'm out of the game. But now I'm back, baby. But speaking of what's back, it's time for... Reading Corner of the Day, doing it up Stonsey's way. Bop. Today, we are going to be learning about the Rhodesian Ridgeback. It's not no pimp named Slickback, but it's pretty close. I mean, look at him. He looks like he could, I don't know, be the leader of something. Even though when he's a baby, he has so many rolls on him. He's so fat and so silly. I love these dogs. But before you can make fun of or have a strong opinion on anything, you should always do the following. 1, learn of its history because it makes you smarter in front of your mom, your dad, or even your box of Old Spice deodorant that you got for Christmas. 2, it makes you more intelligent, which, by the way, intelligence doesn't lie in necessarily knowing information. It lies in knowing information and then spreading it out. Because, I mean, I can know the answer to pi, but if I never taught it, does that really make me intelligent? That's why the smartest people you'll ever meet are teachers, even though some teachers are, yeah. And third of all, because simply put, being intelligent has a lot more uses than you may think. I mean, knowing a lot of things, such as the stuff you're going to learn today, may be like, oh, well, I'm never going to learn about dogs in my school. Why would that matter? But it teaches your mind how to properly remember things and other such things. So it's a good way of learning. So, the history of the Rhodesian Ridgeback, to get back on point, is that the European Boer settlers arrived in South Africa in the 16th and 17th centuries, and they brought with them such breeds as Mastiff, Great Dane, Bloodhound, Pointer Staghound, and Greyhound, among others. These settlers needed a dog to withstand both hot and cold temperatures, limited water, and a rough bush, while performing the duties of a guard dog and hunting dog. By breeding the European dogs as native tribal hunting dogs, which were designated by the ridge of hair growing in the opposite direction along the top of their back, they produced just such a dog. These dogs hunted by both sight and scent and were devoted protectors of the entire family. In the 1870s, several of these dogs were taken to Rhodesia to hunt lions. Tracking them and keeping them at bay, the lion dogs were so successful that they soon became popular, the distinctive ridge becoming the trademark of the quality. By the 1920s, so many different types of rigid lion dogs existed in Rhodesia that a meeting was held to elucidate the most desirable points of the breed, which became the basis of the current standard. Dogs meeting in the standard criteria were known as the Rhodesian Ridgebacks. The dog's former designation as lying dogs was deemed sound too savage. The breed was introduced into England in the 1930s and to America soon after. In both cases, it gained recognition in the 1950s and quickly attracted admirers in the 1980s. The breed received recognition as a sighthound and became eligible to compete in the sighthound field trials. Today it's among the more popular hounds, doubtedly because it combines the most abilities of hunter, protector, and companion in the sleek, handsome body. What a very thick history of them. because I honestly wouldn't have assumed this dog would have been famous, but apparently it is. Now, I want this dog. Everyone says this is popular, and I want to be popular in school because Brittany didn't invite me to her party, and maybe getting a Rhodesian Ridgeback will make me more popular to Brittany. So what's the temperament, Stonsey? Well, the Rhodesian Ridgeback is a hound group of answers for somewhat protective dog. Not only is it keen and versatile hunter, but it's a loyal guardian. It's good with children, and especially protective of those in its family. But it's sometimes overly boisterous and small play for small children. It's strong-willed and powerful. Some can be domineering and is reserved with strangers. It does well around other dogs, although males have dominance disputes. Ridgebacks are good with cats if they are raised with them. And, oh, sorry, that's it. Should have ended it more, yeah. So, now that you know the temperament, what's the upkeep? How do I keep these dogs good and healthy and popular and cool so Brittany will invite me to her freaking school? Well, the upkeep of the Rhodesian Ridgeback is that the Ridgeback loves to run and it needs daily mental and physical exercise to keep it from getting bored. It can be good jogging or hiking companion. The Ridgeback is a family member and a house dog who prefers sleeping indoors and dividing its time between the house and yard. During the day, the coat care is minimal and consisting only of occasional brushing to remove dead hair. Any children here? Cover your ears, close your eyes, go watch whatever the heck kids watch these days. And to any adults and teens who owns a Rhodesian Ridgeback, please grab your notebooks for we're going to be talking about the health concerns of the Rhodesian Ridgeback. That means their major, minor concerns, what they're occasionally seen with, the suggested tests for them for their life, and their lifespan. Their major concerns are nothing. Minor concerns are CHD, hyperthyroidism, and elbow dysplasia. They're occasionally seen with deafness, demeroid sinus. The suggested tests are for the hip, elbow, thyroid, demeroid sinus as a puppy. And their lifespan is 10 to 12 years. Now, what's the form and function? You hear that? That was a heck of a... that was one heck of a... Well, the form and function. What does this dog look like? If I weren't looking at it right now, Stonesy. Well, the form and function is that it's slightly longer than tall. The Ridgeback combines features of speed, power, and endurance. The Rhodesian Ridgeback must be athletic build to enable it to bring down wounded game. This physique also allows them to succeed in other performance events. Its stride is efficient and long. The large, short, glossy coat is adapted to living in hot climates. A distinctive feature is clearly defined ridge, which could start with two identical whorls just behind the shoulders and taper of the prominence and of the hip bones. Now, it's the final section of today's reading video, the section that I like to rhyme a lot in for whatever reason. But I'll give it to you very simply. Basically, it's a tier list, and 5 is the best, 4 is better, 3 is average, 2 is worse, and 1 is the worst unless it comes to grooming. I had to take a sip of water there for a moment. My voice is getting murdered. And then I'll read the tier list right now. Now, energy level is at a 3. Exercise requirements, playfulness, and affection level are at a 3. Pretty average. Friendliness towards dogs is at a 2. Friendliness towards pets is at a 3. Friendliness towards strangers is at a 1. They do not take care to strangers. Ease of training is at a 3. Watchdog ability and protection abilities are at a 4. Wow, this is the highest protection ability I've seen. Grooming requirements are at a 1, which is always great. Cold tolerance and heat tolerance are 3, which means there isn't any. Like, it's pretty average. Weight of a healthy male should be 85 pounds and a female should be 70 pounds. The height of a healthy male should be 25 to 27 inches and female is 24 to 26 inches. In total. Oh, wow. The next dog we're going to be reading about is very flaunty, very bouché. And it is the dog we'll be learning about in the next episode. So, hope you guys do a fantastic, wonderful day. People like being fishing. Hope you guys learned something today, and I'll see you guys next time.